Now, let's talk about the ABC. Their new chair there, Kim Williams, is cracking down on ABC journalist activists, insisting on a podcast. If you don't want to reflect a view that aspires to impartiality, don't work at the ABC. Or Daniel, is he naive or just, I don't know, a man who loves punishment? Because he's going to find out very quickly this is a staff-run collective. If he really does want to eliminate this sort of institutional bias that the ABC has, he's going to have to make some massive changes. And is he willing to do that?
He might be willing to do it, but it's not going to happen. It is a staff-run collective. You hit the nail on the head. We've seen, whether it's the managing director or the chairman, they have almost no influence as to what happens on the ground at the ABC with their editorial positions and their commentary. No one's saying that journalists can't have an opinion, but what we're saying is it's a public broadcaster funded by taxpayers. Therefore, you have to make at least a reasonable effort to showcase the diverse views of the Australian community. At least have both sides of the story on major issues. They don't do that. The only way you can fix the ABC is either through changing its funding or changing the regulations which are attached to that funding. If that doesn't happen, it's going to be more of the same.
Well, we do have a charter. They actually are breaking their charter, so they're legally obliged to be impartial. They're not like The Guardian or Fairfax or Nine, I should say, Fairfax, they don't exist anymore, or even us. They have a charter, they're taxpayer funded, so they have to be impartial, and that is never enforced. It's never enforced under coalition government or a Labor government, and we saw that with The Voice most clearly when the majority of Australians, a significant majority in the end, voted no. You look at the ABC coverage, you would have thought a no vote was a million to one shot, because it was just overwhelmingly activist yes content.
It was, and it just reflects the inner city bias of the ABC. They don't understand the views of ordinary Australians, and they actually look down upon them in many ways. They look down on the lived experience and the life of ordinary people. Look, there's deep structural issues at the ABC. The charter should be enforced. If there's going to be a charter, at least enforce it. I don't know what mechanisms there are to do that, but clearly the priority for an ex-coalition government has to be, OK, if you don't want to touch the funding, OK, at least enforce the charter so it has to be impartial.
Now, Princess Kate has finally revealed where she's been the past few months, privately battling cancer. But even this very public admission wasn't enough to quell the whinings of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. This is something Jacqueline Magnay wrote about in today's Australian. Sources close to Harry and Meghan immediately told People magazine that the pair were not informed of the Princess of Wales's diagnosis, adding that they are being left out of any details regarding Kate and that there's clearly no trust. I wonder why. Harry and Meghan did release a statement wishing the princess well. But I've got to say, they find a way to insert themselves into every story concerning the royals. For a couple who just want to live their lives privately, they do they do love contacting the media with these strategic leaks.
Yeah, well, I was just thinking of the South Park episode when you mentioned that, which was a great send-up. But yeah, it's all about them, isn't it? And that's what they don't understand. People, that's the main thing that people have a problem with Harry and Meghan, is it's all about them. Everybody's wishing Kate and the royal family all the best, and obviously the king as well with their health troubles. But somehow they managed to take that story and take that real issue and make it all about them.